Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper One. I hope you've been working hard. I've been really killing it trying to get things done here, trying to spend some Federal Reserve notes that one day will be worthless, but not waste them, spend them on something that I can use to enhance my survivability, to enhance my position here at the homestead. I hope you're doing the same to the best of your ability. I'm eagerly looking forward to a collapse of the dollar. I know some are going to say, Dave, you're a weirdo. Why do you want that? I want it for some reason. No, I do not want you to suffer or other people to suffer. But the dollar is used worldwide, sometimes to hurt people. It's used to force countries to go along with what we want. And what we want is not what me and you want. I want the best for other countries. I want a fair field. I want them to prosper. The United States does not want them to prosper. If they can use their influence with the dollar to keep a country under their control, to force them to use a piece of paper, Federal Reserve note that's absolutely worth nothing, why other countries have to produce goods and services, natural resources, and all we do to create wealth is we got a printing press. And we create it, and we demand they use it to conduct business. But it's slowly changing, and I'm actually happy for that. I don't care. Yes, I am an American, but fairness is fairness. And it's not fair to make the world use a fiat piece of paper that's absolutely worthless. So I'm looking forward to a collapse. I'm not looking for suffering. I'm looking to you having to really put an effort into knowing your neighbors. Nowadays, you have 672 friends on Facebook. And if you probably contacted them all and you said, I have to move all weekend, I got all this furniture, I got to go up 4 flights of stairs, you might have 1 or 2 people show up. Out of 600 and something, they're not really your true friends. When the dollar collapses, you're going to need to know who your friends are. You're going to need to develop relationships with your neighbors. You have to make sure your neighbor can survive. And not to use your resources as charity, but maybe use what's up here as charity to assist them. Because it's in your best interest if they can grow some food, if they can find clean water. So numerous people around here, I could just start pointing directions that have the simple pump. So a lot of us right here could supply, like the neighbor over there, neighbor down there, doesn't have a simple pump, does not have clean water. It's very easy for me, and I have 5-gallon water cans, lots of them. I could fill those up and deliver them, especially to some elderly people. You got to get to know your neighbors. You can do it now. You could do it in troubled times, because you're going to need your neighbor. You're going to need your neighbor when there's a brush fire that could turn into a forest fire, could turn into a structure fire. You're going to need to have a plan. Services will be cut. When the dollar collapses, there's going to be a lot of things cut, not available. The response time from a fire department might take a lot longer, or maybe in the worst case situation, they don't respond. So you're going to have to know your neighbors. People do not know their neighbors. I talk to people all day long, all over the United States, and some of them do not know their neighbors. Some of them are in an area where their neighbors aren't friendly, or their neighbors are definitely different philosophies in life. Some people say, man, all my neighbors do is smoke dope and drink. They barely work. They don't even cut their grass. And then you have other people that just want to stay to themselves. But when times get tough, and you can see that in the South when a hurricane hits, whole neighborhoods band together, usually to take care of themselves and share their generator, or let someone run an extension cord over their house to keep their freezer cold part of the day. So I'm looking forward to when the United States government loses control over us and over the world. And they do that through they do it through the dollar. I hate dealing with the Federal Reserve notes because I know what it's backed up by. It's backed up by nothing. As you can clearly see, what's it, $31.7 trillion. A lot of this debt has been done in the last 10, 11, 12 years. So it's something that is getting worse and worse, and politicians are right now trying to come up with a plan to increase the debt limit. Instead of coming up with a plan and say, hey, let's just sit down and we got this much money in our hands, let's spend just this much money and fill these needs. We got to cut things, They won't do that. because politicians want to get reelected, and they don't want to make hard decisions. They're worthless. I hold them all responsible for the debt, every single one of them. So if they were in 10 years ago, they're responsible. If you were in a long time ago and you can see that, hey, during the time I was in, the debt barely grew, it still grew, you're responsible for somewhat. But it's these politicians that get in there and do 30 years and benefit hugely from their position. Most of them, 95% of them, have no integrity. They have no care for the mankind, the United States citizen. Their goal is to enrich themselves, and they do that. It is full of corruption. The whole Washington, D.C., the whole establishment, bureaucrats, it's so corrupt, I don't care if it falls. And I have no... If you told me tomorrow the government's going to fall, you'd be like, about time. Hallelujah. Maybe we can clean this mess up, because it is a disaster. It's a cesspool. I have no respect for them up there. Right now, I'm letting them govern me. But one day, maybe I won't let them govern me. And it depends on what they're doing. So, use your time wisely. Try to think of what you're going to need when that dollar bill loses value. And it's going to lose value. It's losing value right now. The world is coming up with all kinds of mechanisms where they're using their local currency, or they're going to use some other currency to pay for their needs on the international market. When the dollar bill is not needed to pay for petrol or pay for oil, you're going to see hyperinflation. You're going to see your living standard is going to crash. And it's going to crash very hard. So you can do two things. If you're on my channel watching me, you're not putting your head in the sand. Some people out there are putting their heads in the sand, and they say, what am I going to do about it? I can't do nothing about it, so I'm not doing nothing. When you see the ship that you're on is sinking, the first thing you do is at least throw a life jacket on. Maybe you warn people and say, hey, there's a hole in the side of the boat, and it's taking on tons of water. Then you realize, you know what? Maybe I need to find out where the life rafts are. Eventually, you move your way over to the life raft. Eventually, you might want to get in the life raft and say, hey, we need to put this thing in there because, you know, this boat's going to sink, and in a few minutes, I don't want to go down with the ship. So I hope you're doing that. I hope you're building your life raft. A lot of people are doing some things. I talk to them, and they just don't do a lot. And some people don't do a lot because they don't have money. Some people don't do a lot because they say, it ain't going to get that bad. When you're in the middle of the ocean with just a life jacket on, remember all the people on YouTube that are begging you to prepare. We're asking you to look at the facts. The facts is the dollar is going down. Now, when you prepare, it's just not for the crap hits the fan. Preparing is a way of life. This is a way of life for me. That's why I'm not burned out. That's why I'm not tired of prepping. There's people that say, man, I got to take a break. And I talked to a guy, he took a break for a couple years. I didn't do any prepping for a couple years. And you know what? I'm not here to judge that guy. If he's stockpiled enough and he felt, hey, I don't need to do anything, that's fine. For me, it's a way of life. So it's not a burden. It's just how I live. I live this way for one reason, because I'm very frugal. I want to get the best deal, so that means shopping things on sale. So I hope you're hitting the sales. It kills me to pay full price for an item. It kills me, knowing that I've seen items on sale, say, oh, I should have bought that 6 months ago or last week. That is what part of prepping is for me. It's also growing some food. I'm not growing a lot of food this year. You know why? Because I got infrastructure projects that I have to get done. I got to get them done. I'd hate to go into an SH situation with projects half done. So look at your projects. Do you need to take some of that money and get some supplies so you can finish projects that make your life more comfortable? A lot of it deals with where you live. Your chances of survival is based on location. Just like in real estate, they say location, location, location. They say, you know, if you're going to get the crappiest house in the best neighborhood, because you can always fix the crappiest house up to make it nice. But if you buy the best house in the crappiest neighborhood, there ain't nothing you can do for yourself. You're still in a crappy neighborhood. So, I'm looking forward to a collapse of the dollar. I really am. I think it might get us back to a sense of the local community. It'll get us back to not having Washington control us, dictate to us what we should believe, not dictating everything in our school district, the pure garbage that they're pushing from Washington. And a lot of state houses are pushing the same thing because it's an agenda. So keep prepping, but I'll be a happy man when we, the American people locally, can take the power from Washington, and we can have the right to guide this ship where we want it to go, and that's local. Thanks for watching.